You are welcome to this presentation on features and benefits that one gets from I2K classes. We'll introduce you one by one to the core philosophy of I2K classes. The first and the foremost thing is that the I2K classes runs on supplementary technology called Dynamine. But before we actually go on and understand the entire system, we would like to share with you the story of genesis of all of this. This is the story of a dream which took birth in 1988. A young IIT Kanpur graduate accidentally started coaching classes for engineering and medical entrance and thus became the pioneer in the country amongst IITians to have started this kind of a thing. For 11 years he taught students in the batch of 10, and most striking thing was that he achieved a success between 40 to 80%. His conclusion was that for such high success rate, it was basically the sustained motivation coupled with very high level of quality personalized training which actually made very ordinary students extraordinary. But the problem was that he was not able to scale it up. He was not able to take it to thousands or lakhs. So he saw real handicap. He saw hidden locked potential of so many people not coming out just because no sustained motivation or personalized training paradigm existed. So to solve this, he migrated to Mumbai in 2000 after closing down his very successful classes, and thus this system called Dynamine was born. So this is the story of the dream coming into reality. The core philosophy of I2K is on your screen. We feel that, as Michelangelo said, that every block of stone has a statue inside. Similarly, we feel that every student has hidden potential. It is therefore our job to actually uncover it and make student realize his best options in life. If you see the performance of this student in the first midterm or the second midterm or even a few months before the board exam in the prelims, was nowhere even mid of the class, but finally she topped and was listed in first 75,000 out of say around 6,000 students who appear in medical entrance in Goa. So this girl clearly turned ordinary to extraordinary and basically underlined our core philosophy. To understand the whole situation and where we have made a mark, we have to understand prevailing education model. And prevailing education model consists of three pillars. Lecturing in the classroom, then you have homework given at home, and then the third pillar is testing. Naturally, lecturing in the classroom is not personalized, it's one-to-many delivery, and many students have lapse of concentration, they miss out quite a few things in the classroom, and there is no way to plug these gaps. Similarly, for homework, there is no way by which every student is being continuously educated on where one is going wrong, what one should do to improve in the problems that one has attempted in the homework, and there is no feedback or remedial as such for the homework. And what's happening? Tests are conducted some 15 days or in a month, and basically it further demotivates people who have not been able to do well. These three pillars finally create highly inefficient process. And there's a need to make all these three pillars highly efficient for every individual. Question is how we have done. We'll explain this in subsequent stages of the presentation. Before we go on to the details of this, let's understand the implications of prevailing education model. Firstly, it is designed, the three pillars of classroom lecture, the homework, and the testing is designed to benefit a very few highly motivated students. Almost 2% are highly motivated, 98% are not motivated. And there is no such strategy to actually encourage 98% of the people to come up. Majority of the people have concentration lapses, and the fact of the matter is most of the students do not do their homework, and that's why they keep lagging behind. Poor homework management and low attentivity in the class keeps the talent locked for the majority of the people. And when the tests are conducted, low performance actually demotivates these students. The fact is, the main challenge that we have is our 98% of the student community is struggling with motivation. And the current prevailing three pillars of classroom lecture, homework, and the way tests are conducted are not helping these students. In fact, they are harming them because they demotivate them. So what is the solution of this problem? How do we create a paradigm where majority gets motivated and achieves best result? The answer is on your screen. The famous research finding of Benjamin Bloom, which says 50 percentile student can reach above 98 percentile score provided the child is provided with dedicated teacher or a mentor or a tutor. This he termed 2 sigma problem because he found no way by which every student can be given that kind of personal attention. Now the fact is, if you provide personal attention, it acts like a motivation steroid. Second is, the quality of instruction itself improves if you are providing personal attention to a child. But the problem is, how do we create this personal attention for each and every student? Now this is where our core technology called Dynamind has made its mark. You will see how it creates personal attention for each and every student. The classroom delivery of lectures is supported 24/7 with very specific lecture delivery through Dynamind. Homework is graded, personal feedback and remedial are created, and the testing 24/7, one has personalized testing for great recall and performance. So how does it do it? Dynamind firstly makes the classroom lecture highly effective. The usual classroom faculty driven lectures are actually supplemented with optional video lectures which I2K has created under strict quality control. So this way the classroom is ensured that there is no drop in the delivery, and the class group is supplemented with focus on the concepts where students having maximum difficulty. Now all these reports are provided by Dynamind. After log on, mentor actually sees this screen, and as you can see under course there is a menu called overview. So a mentor can click here. At any time mentor gets overview which chapters students are maximum having problem with. But suppose he's interested in one particular chapter and which is to be taught tomorrow, say for example, then one can click and see where students have had the maximum difficulty. After clicking on a chapter, say this one called friction, one sees the concepts shown in the descending order of group weaknesses. So suppose this concept is not understood by majority of the students, it is reported, and also it is reported what kind of conceptual errors students are normally making. So now it is expected that the mentor can go through this. So one can see the lecture, revise before the class so that the weak concepts of the students are addressed well. One can also see the specific internet references that we have provided. After going through the lectures, one can see the questions where students have found maximum difficulty. Since we are dealing in friction, we'll go to friction. And now this is the question found most difficult. So the teacher is supposed to discuss these questions one by one. Teacher can play the same lecture in the classroom by using multimedia projector. As the student progresses in the class, the weak areas of the student are marked by Dynamine, and those weaknesses are presented to the student in a systematic manner. Student can supplement with online personalized video lectures, and the benefit is focused learning, and it aids in the concentration lapses, and there is individual tracking for better learning. Here is an example. For example, for this student, poor understanding areas in a chapter called frictions are mapped. Now student can go to these concepts and listen the lectures one by one. The complete tracking of the student is being done and reported on the student attendance side. So this is how lectures are personalized, the weakness in the lectures or the poor area in understanding are identified and supported with so that they become strength areas. Homework is a very important aspect in the learning process, and it is the most neglected of all the activities. We at I2K pay lots of attention to this. There's a complete gradation, evaluation and feedback is provided. So the benefit obviously is this ensures optimum time management for best results. And while the student is doing the homework, Dynamind actually locates the weaknesses and reports the remedial and the feedback to each and every learner. Assignment tracking for every student is done online as well as offline. Both the options are there. Student can log in for the online and go to the assignment here. The student can attempt assignment. Various options are given to the student. For example, here is a screen for online attempt. One can attempt, one can take the assistance of various tools and then submit the assignment for detailed feedback and report. However, for offline submission, each assignment has a cover sheet as shown on your screen, which is bar-coded. Student is supposed to submit in the center, and the student can track his assignment by clicking here. So the relevant messages are shown for the student, various assignments. Detailed report on each and every assignment is presented to the student with the questions where he went wrong, the feedback and remedial where he needs to focus, which concepts, Then suggested problem for the remedial are shown. The comparative performance is shown. This way complete feedback with remedial is given to the student. The complete report once again. Besides generic normal testing, we have personalized testing focused on the weakness of every student. The benefit is weak areas are selectively removed and converted to strong areas. Both the options exist. A mentor can create specialized test, personalized test with a click of a button, or a student can also select questions from different chapters where the questions will be picked from the weak areas. So let's have a look at them. For example, teacher can or mentor can come and create assignment or test. This is how one creates it. One can import existing test or create new test. All the necessary title, instructions, etc. can be put. This assignment or the test can be made to appear on a future date. And most important feature is this one-on-one. If the mentor clicks on this and creates a test paper, then based on the weakness of students, customized test paper will be created for each and every student. There are other options also for test creation. On the student side, the mentor created test appear here, personalized test. The page is shown, whereas still the student can take own practice test by clicking here for improvement on weakness areas. Student can select the areas and call for a personalized test. One can pick the number of questions and generate personalized test with instant feedback and remedial. The questions are shown, student can attempt. Finally, after the test, complete report with analysis is given to the student. For example, on the right side, one can click and go to the problem areas detected in this test. One can see the right and wrong, the data. One can see the solution, etc. by clicking here. Below this are the conceptual weaknesses noticed by Dynamind's intelligence. And finally, one has a customized test, one more test ready to eliminate weaknesses identified in this particular test. So this is a complete personalized testing service based on the continuous remedial, and when all the weak areas are removed, student is free to go ahead. Finally, the real challenge is maintaining the motivation of majority of the students who are not equipped to handle so much stress on a daily basis. Without this motivation, it is impossible to achieve such tough targets. And this is where the entire team of I2K puts lots and lots of effort. In fact, the entire creation of Dynamind technology was to enhance the motivation by providing that key personalization. So besides the faculty, the counselors of I2K regularly monitor the classroom performance of the student and also monitor the online work, see any abrupt changes, and then counsel not only the students but the parents also. Technology driven SMS continuously keep boosting the morale of the student. The student is applauded for every significant achievement, and naturally highly trained faculty and the system behind the scene called Dynamind ensures high quality personal training which is designed to create a success which starts feeding on itself. So the real challenge is that we create genuine success for the student, which then becomes the biggest motivator for future achievements. So the classroom delivery of the teachers and the homework and the testing when gets personalized with high dose of motivation, that creates the spirit that a person can achieve, which ends up in great performances. The parent's role is often understood to be limited to paying the fee for the classes. However, we feel that the most important role of the parents is motivating their own child. The battle is tough for their children, and we feel it is very important duty of the parents to be the bridge between the stresses that the child experiences in this kind of pursuit. So we emphasize this by counseling the parents, and most importantly we also provide online access to the parents so that they can see and monitor the progress of the child in context to the role of the motivation that they have to provide. We emphasize that we are not providing this online access for kind of policing. We wish the parents to be completely involved in the learning troughs and crest that the child experiences, which is a normal part of the training program, and then provide that shock absorbers so that student remains cool and calm and gets his best. So to summarize, Dynamind not only personalizes the education delivery but powers the classroom teaching also. A teacher is able to deliver better. In I2K, team is picked by Mr. Atul Nigam, who has more than 25 years of experience in this space. All these concepts which are not understood are tracked, feedback is given to the faculty, and they improve their delivery in the class. Such plans are there where every session activity is mapped. Here is a sample day-wise plan, academic. The students are provided with high quality study notes in all the subjects. Here's a sample of the notes. The technology which runs Dynamind is on cloud computing. It uses artificial intelligence or AI to create the intelligence that you have seen. It has more than 25,000 users. A lot of work was done earlier in different fields. For example, this is Government of Odisha initiative. We had tremendous success in our first year operation where the classroom delivery was empowered with Dynamind. I2K created unprecedented success. These are on your screens. Whereas engineering or medical is concerned, in all these students performed exceptionally well. Even board examination students did exceptionally well. Quick glance on various marks scored by students. The score was uniformly very high in every different sphere. So the quick summary is there on your screen. The alumni of the organization actually range from various areas. They are globally spread. The technology was recognized worldwide. In other words, it's inventing the future, and the person behind I2K is Mr. Atul Nigam, who graduated from IIT Kanpur and was the first IITian to start coaching for engineering and medical in 1988. He has created thousands of successful candidates at national level. The details can be seen at i2k.in, and global representation was made by I2K team in the World Conference, delivered lectures in Stanford, Harvard, etc. And one can contact Mr. Atul Nigam on the address given. We thank you for your time for this presentation. Thanks a lot.